Board of Health meeting, Thursday, December 13th, at 6:35. The meeting is being recorded by video and also audio. Roll call. Elizabeth Stevens. Here. Roland Marshall.
Here.
David Williams.
Here.
Tony Casali.
Here.
Nicole Duffy. Excused. All
She will
right.
not be in that help.
No.
Working.
Okay, agenda item number 3, we'll accept the minutes from the previous meeting. Not plural.
Just get it finished.
Any questions, comments,
Concerns?
discussion
Right.
on the minutes?
Yeah.
Are we good?
Before it was updated tonight, the only thing was this was wrong, so it was changed.
You had to do it, didn't you? You had to do it.
But it was corrected, so the original one's corrected, so I make a motion that we accept it as corrected.
All right. You have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Staying.
Oh, you weren't here? Oh, that's right, it was
Don't
quiet.
get me.
We got out of it.
Woo, that's right.
Not feeling the love anymore.
All right.
We didn't love you, we wouldn't.
Well, good, because we didn't like you before.
Okay.
All right, agenda item number 4, citizens forum. There are any citizens in the gallery that wish to speak about anything that's not on the agenda? Going once,
Speak. You
going
are.
twice.
All right.
Susan
Yeah.
Howard, Poetry Nature.
You're on the agenda.
You're on the agenda.
I was gonna speak during the sustainability committee, but I don't know if this would be a better time, because I know the last time I was here, it was just kind of glossed over. So I don't know if this would be a
Well,
better time.
step right up, Maureen, what you got?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna sit here. I just wanted to say, like, the Boston plastic bag ban is starting tomorrow. So I would really like to revisit that for Southbridge. Because since the Massachusetts legislature didn't take any action on it for the current fiscal year, it's going town by town. So I'd really like to see if we could do something. We started some work on that and I'd like to revisit it.
Mr. Williams, there was a reason why we tabled that.
Because I wasn't, because it was meant to be on the October agenda, and then I wasn't there. It was meant to be on for review of the language, because Andy made some changes, and then to go to a vote. So obviously it can't be for this one, but
Absolutely. Well, good to see you guys.
We
Mr. Lundy.
haven't forgotten it.
Thank you, Merry Christmas.
I believe the last meeting, we also discussed between the bag ban, which is only over 80 communities in the state that already adopted it. That and the tobacco, I think we discussed separate working meetings to just talk them those. So it is still
Okay,
planned on the beginning
Okay.
of next year
okay,
to bring
great.
those up and work on them correctly.
Okay, thank you.
And we do have a draft that's already gone out.
Mhm.
Andy has made some connections. Then things got a little bit busy to go back and forth, and to have that kind of work at an open meeting is very difficult. So we were gonna have a working meeting just to discuss those certain topics.
Okay, because I really think it's important with our trash issues and
Absolutely.
it's a good way to reduce our trash issues.
The board,
Thank
at the
you.
last meeting, the board voted to put that on for a January meeting.
That's right.
So we're gonna be discussing that in January. Rolly had pointed out that he saw some weaknesses in the law or in the language. We gotta go through my changes. So we're gonna sit down and dedicate a meeting to
Yep.
that
Okay.
and tobacco.
And if Boston is starting it tomorrow, I would definitely look at, I don't know what their language is. I don't even know how we find it, but, and that's a really big city. I know a lot of smaller towns have implemented it, but,
That's easy. They usually post in Lexington, Concord, I believe. There's over 80 in the state. They
yeah,
usually post them on their website under their other, requirements, and I.
There was a link,
Yeah.
yeah, there was a link on the
There were
website.
several of
And
them.
most of them are very, very similar, but Boston, yeah, being the.
We're not gonna
being
recreate the
big
wheel.
town.
Okay, right. I don't think we have
Do we have
to.
a date for the January meeting? Should we?
Well, no, not yet,
Yeah.
because that would be agenda item number 12.
Yep.
choose next
Okay, thank
meeting,
you.
we can put an S next to that one.
There you go.
We could take this S and put it down
All right, anyone else? Okay, moving on. Casella. Tracy.
there. Couple more
Hello.
weeks.
Casey's way too excited.
I know, he's way too excited about this.
30 more years.
What a
30
great
more years.
conversation when we're past Listen.
No, not going anywhere.
So really, we've just been focusing on, we had a lot of catch up to do. We've finally gotten a stretch of weather with no rain. So we've gotten things, Saturday's gonna rain a bit.
Just a bit.
So we were able to make a lot of headway in getting the rest of the eastern slope work done, getting the intermediate cover on, berms are going in, hydro seeding is going on, it's been going on for a few days now. As soon as the hydro seeding is done, we'll be installing erosion control matting, and then we'll be finishing up on the top. Some stormwater work to do, and that's gonna bring us through the end of the month, and then, Mother Nature's gonna have to deep freeze, so we really will be buttoned up, the majority of it will be done by the end of next week, before we get into the Christmas week.
Any questions? Comments?
With the headway, with regard to the last update we got, the DEP was, and we know, anybody who is anybody should know that this has been the wettest
Yeah.
years. And DEP had some issues, has those all been making them happy now with
DEP's
with
been
the
out.
progress
Yeah.
of the past week?
Yep, they've been out at least once a week, most weeks twice a week. So they're definitely giving us the feedback that they're happy with the progress that they're seeing.
Good.
So it really took getting a little bit of dry weather. Once
Yeah.
we can get on those slopes, then things can get done. So that really was the key to us being able to get out there and get
And
this.
this weather should help it out a little to alleviate overs.
Yes, yeah, so I mean, getting the intermediate cover on, finishing the gas work, getting everything, but that all leads to, better
Okay.
odor control.
Beautiful.
So Andy and I had a quick discussion the other day, and we thought we would talk about it tonight. Did you want to open that, or?
No, go ahead, I was gonna bring it up.
Well, we were just talking about, okay, kind of what the next steps are, and we're really, there's the only permit application that will be going in is for the other closure that will be done. There's really not a lot of work that's going on, so I talked with Andy about, having the board, if you needed me to come in for a meeting, if you could let me know, I can come with some short notice, but, I didn't think it would be best use of everybody's time for me to come in and go, yep, it's winter.
So her presence at these meetings is a condition of the site assignment. Obviously, the conditions of the site assignment are interpretable by the board sitting at any time. Once the landfill is buttoned up, the most she's gonna report is it rained on Tuesday, unless we have a serious event up there or an erosion issue. So I personally, and it's obviously the board's call, but her presence here on a regular basis until we start closure, until we start capping, I don't know if it's necessary, unless the board feels they want to keep the condition alive.
I'm always available to come, even at short notice, but it's your agenda.
I would put two conditions to that. One is if something happens at the landfill, that there was some sort of event, that changes the equation, that you would be here at the next meeting to report on that. Or if we have a concern. And
That's exactly what we discussed.
So those two conditions.
Yeah, that sounds.
Any other issue is that, like we discussed on the landfill oversight committee, we decided because of how the work and the stuff would be slowing down, that we go back to quarterly, which the next meeting would be in March. If nothing happens, then we see you in March at that subcommittee.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that would suffice. It's no different than us having an emergency meeting, and if something happened, we can just reach out.
Yeah.
Because then it would be the same thing with the LLC.
So Tracy, with the, we're still doing buttoning up the site. So would your intention be to just be at the last, one more meeting to basically catch us up, everything's buttoned up, this is done, that's done, everything's closed, or?
Yeah, I kind of expected to do that tonight, you know, because we really, you know, we have to finish on the western side and do some top, I mean, we're 75% of the way there. I mean, Anna's there as well, and she sees that everything's getting done.
To me, if we get the email reports on, like we've been getting, on things going on, I don't see why,
Yeah, I'm
until we
always
see
there.
them on.
I'm always
We
there.
know how to get a hold of you.
That report from Anna on her weekly report on what's going on, is also gonna drop down to nothing, because nothing's gonna be going on.
Right.
She'll be walking the site a couple times a week and determining if there's any erosion to be worried about, stuff like that, any concerns that she notices. But, her report is going to turn into a half-a-page report too.
And that's fine, that means everything's going well.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Especially you're around if we need.
that's.
We're all working
you know, I
together
mean,
if something happens.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so,
Got one question, Tracy, and actually an announcement to the board. I reached out to the chair and the vice chair. I couldn't get in touch with the other members on notice. We had a ton of rain in November, and I believe I sent you all out the copy of the note that I sent to Tracy. But we had a ton of rain in November, so the leachate was, basically they wanted to keep ahead of the leachate. So after talking to the chair and the vice chair, I authorized the landfill operators that they could run 2 additional leachate trucks between 6 and 7 in the morning. I talked to the closest citizens who live by. I left a message with Erin, I can't think of Erin's last name. And I talked to Dan Butler directly, let them know that it was gonna happen. So 1 to 2 trucks between 6 and 7. The condition says that the landfill trucks will not run before 7, but maintenance vehicles could. And we kind of discussed it and decided this could be identified as, removing the waste oil from the garage is not removed, it's not part of garage work, it's maintenance of the garage. So the 2 board members I spoke to said that they could concur with that. So they've been running for about a week now.
We're done.
Started Monday,
Yeah,
you're
we're
done
done.
with that?
We're done.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got
we
a
just-
call.
Getting those 2 loads in was, really helped us. Be able to get 2 extra loads, that's 18,000 gallons a day extra, really helped us get
Okay.
down, we're
and so
well
how
below.
long, did you do that for?
We did it for about a week and a couple days,
Okay.
that was it.
So-
Okay. So.
I got a call today from Dan Butler
Mhm.
that a truck went up this morning at 10
We
past
did 2 loads this morning.
Today I can tell Dan that
Yep.
it's done.
It's done.
Okay, I'll call Erin and Dan and tell them it's done unless we get tons of rain in December.
Yeah.
Excellent, I really
Yeah, we really
appreciate it.
appreciated that flexibility. It may not seem like much, but 2 extra loads makes a huge deal when you're just trying to stay ahead of rain every 2 days.
No, that's preventative. Yeah.
And now with the site, can I?
Absolutely.
With the site being buttoned up, it's more stormwater than leach.
Yeah.
Well, anytime you get that much rain in a period of time, it shows up in the tank eventually.
It's been everywhere, that's been the
Yeah,
wet,
yeah,
the highest in history. Okay.
All right, anything else?
Unrelated to the landfill, did I hear you say at one point that you had a lot of information on recycling, and that you'd be willing to share with us?
Yep. I think, have you been working with Paul? I had mentioned that the company just redid a lot of their marketing pieces about some of the things you're struggling with. You know, recycling is great, but when we're putting in as much unrecyclable material
Right.
into the recycling turns into a problem. So we did do a lot of new marketing pieces on that, and I thought Paul was gonna,
We'll be talking extensively on
With the
that,
education.
Yeah.
on your
Yep.
business.
okay, all right, so you got that covered?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
No, thanks.
All right,
Thank you.
that'll do it. All right,
I make a motion that we
Suspend
could suspend the meeting and open up the
hearing.
hearing, the 6:40, the hearing,
Second,
public hearing.
yeah.
I know. We work in concert. So we don't want one ear getting too heavy. So second,
All those in favor? Okay.
Do we have a representative from Holy Trinity?
no.
Two, actually.
Join us, please.
They look very vaguely.
No, Tony, I'm gonna spare you this evening. I'm just gonna spare you because.
Hey, I saw that and I just,
No, because I'm just, because you guys know. All right, so we're gonna open the public hearing, request for a fee waiver for Holy Trinity Church. It's $6.50.
I have a correspondence from Holy Trinity Church, addressed to Maritza Santos. She all of a sudden elevates to high importance here.
It didn't cover the pay raise.
Oh, she does.
Somebody knows.
Holy Trinity Church is applying for a food service permit. As a church and a nonprofit corporation in the town of Southbridge, we would like to be considered for a waiver of the food service permit annual fee. Holy Trinity is involved with many community initiatives that address food insecurity, and we host community cookouts and suppers open to the general public and free of charge. Thank you for considering this request. Sincerely yours, Susan Holland, Treasurer.
Okay, any discussion?
so there's, it's all community service. There's no fees charged for any of these events. And I guess my question is quite bluntly, is there any income being generated in that facility?
We do rent the kitchen, if we have, we rent the space, so we have a lot of space, we have a small congregation. We would like to continue to be a Christian presence on Hamilton Street and not close 15,000 square feet building in the town of Southbridge, to be very blunt. So we are looking to repurpose and utilize all of our space, not only the kitchen, but when we do rent we call it the undercroft, the space underneath the sanctuary, sometimes the kitchen is rented as well. So to answer your question is sometimes there is some income generated. We also have a long-term rental for our local baker in residence, and she pays a small fee to the church to rent that space. So that income does go to help, actually basically to maintain our building, but it's not used for our program, it's used to maintain the building. But we do generate some income from the kitchen, yes.
And if I can ask Maritza a question, does this baker get permitted separately from the church?
Yes, she
Yes,
does,
she does.
and she pays that fee.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the permit?
$200, yeah. So if I might speak on behalf of that, I mean, we're not really like a real robust restaurant establishment. We're basically coffee hour. So this all started with a lemonade stand 5 years ago. So for 100 years, Holy Trinity Church never had a food service permit or a licensed kitchen or anything, but we wanted a lemonade stand and discovered that we didn't have a food service permit. We've spent $25,000 to renovate our kitchen over the last year, so we can get licensed. So we are now licensed, we passed our inspection. So we are just asking if you could we understand nonprofits can have this, sometimes have this fee waived. And I understand it's the same fee that's charged to a restaurant. I mean, we're not a restaurant, it's coffee hour, it's potluck. All the potlucks, there's no fee. If we have a community dinner, there might be a free will offering pot, but honestly, it doesn't even cover the sewer bill. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Maritza, I guess these are the same questions we ask. How long have you been going to that facility to inspect it?
I've been going for the past 4 years.
And how are those visits?
Excellent. They
Just-
are in complete compliance, yes.
So you-
Minor issues, but
and-
rectified right away.
And your time is minimal, do you
It's
think,
minimal.
there?
It's minimal.
And so so the people you feed are from the community, or when you have these?
Well, what throws us into the licensing, as I understand it, is we have coffee hour after service. And that's number one, that throws us into having to have a licensed kitchen. And when we have potluck suppers, again, it's mostly our parishioners, but if anybody walks up the street, everybody is welcome to eat. And then sometimes we actually have, so our pancake supper for Shrove Tuesday, Mardi Gras, that's open to the public. Anybody walking up the street can come in and eat. So all those things throw us into needing the food service permit.
And
And vacation Bible school.
Vacation
is
Bible
about-
school, which is open to
Open to everybody.
anybody.
And actually,
And
most
we-
of our folks, or at least half, are from outside of the congregation. So we're servicing the town of Southbridge for that week. But yeah, we serve sandwiches and, snacks.
Is that baker in there every day,
No, but most days.
most days?
Yeah.
And the income, I'm sorry, one
Go
more.
ahead.
Sure.
The income you generate from that baker goes right back into the upkeep of the facility?
Yes. I mean, essentially, it goes on the treasurer's slide. You probably more information than you want to know, but it comes into the operating account. And then what our vestry has decided to do with all rental income is to put it into building maintenance and repair. It doesn't go into pay the pastor salary ever. So, because we have a lot of needs to keep the building, we just dropped $2,000 to have our building permit. Yeah, so, there's a lot of money that we have to put into the building. We're celebrating 150 years. That building will be 150 years in 2019. It's on the National Historic Register. We'll be doing some celebration. We haven't been there for 150 years, but it's been a Christian presence on Hamilton Street. It used to be the Union Church, the Free Evangelical Union Church, when it was for the Hamilton Wool Company.
You have your food permit, your baker has a food permit, so you both follow all the, what is it, food safe food, whatever.
Yes.
Serve safe. If you, let me ask you, when you rent it out to ABC organization, and they're gonna have some kind of a function, and regardless of money, income, anything like this, they work under your permit?
So we don't rent it with musicians.
But you say sometimes you rent the space in the
For
kitchen.
people want to have a party for a wedding
Okay,
or a baby shower, and they have cake and sandwiches, and they bring.
do you have anybody that more or less oversees it?
Well,
Because technically any use of that kitchen would technically fall under your license.
Under our license, yes. So if there's going to be, so on our rental application, if they want to use the kitchen, they have to pay extra, number one, and also say what they're going to do there. If there's cooking involved, then the food safe person has to get involved to oversee that.
Okay, so it's more or less private in-house type
Yes.
functions versus, hey, we have space that you can,
Exactly.
Yeah, all of those would be private
baby showers.
attendees
Yeah.
for the baby shower or the,
Okay,
They're not serving to the general public. They're serving.
that's what I meant, it's more like an invite or buy a
Yes.
ticket or whatever.
But you may or may
no,
not know, the
they're not even buying a
YMCA
ticket.
were renting our space for 2 years, and they had their own permitting, but we had to provide this we had to make sure our kitchen was licensed for them to then get
That's-
their license. But then they had their own serve safe people, and if we were to do that again, that would be nice, actually, because, a lot of needs in this community. We would love to be able to offer space to an organization that was serving the children of this community. That was really, is our dream. It's our dream. And in that case, if it was an outside organization, of course, they would then have to be served.
And that's-
Maritza has educated us, Maritza and Andrew have educated us on what we need to do.
And that's some of the concerns when people say they rent it out. I mean, God help us all, if a bunch of people get sick.
Oh, I know.
With some organizations that say, okay, we'll open it up when we know when you're done. And people with good hearts haven't had the education and then the liability would fall on everybody, and the, you know, the permit holder and everything else.
And we have insurance too. So we're covered for liability, we check with church insurance just to make sure that we're covered for what we're doing along, on top of what the town. But I hear you, we try to do our best to please everybody. Dave?
So this is a tough one for me, and that we spent a lot of time on the fee schedule, and we spent a lot of time on trying to come up with a fee schedule that fit the amount of time it took to inspect. And I agree with you, there's a vast difference between that inspection.
Oh, and so we're back to the same thing as we were before. We as a board have not spent any time on the fee schedule. You, as the previous board, we just skipped over it and said, no, we'll just do case by case. So that's how we land where we are again. So what we need to do, you know what we need to do, we need to just,
Well, and
Make
you're,
a
you're,
decision.
you went right to where I was going.
Because
You want me to, you want to skip right to the chase, which is really, we either have a fee schedule that we maintain, we have a nonprofit versus profit-making fee schedule that would fit that, or we just do everything case by case. And I think you're right. I think right now we are in a case by case until we clearly have a
right.
have
And
a plan.
this is just, we shouldn't be doing this. We have a fee schedule. We should be abiding by the fee schedule.
I agree with you.
That's the fee schedule that was set. If we're gonna leave fees for everybody, or for only certain people, then what's to stop everyone from coming in and asking for a fee waiver? That's how I feel about it. And I've not made, it's not a secret. It's got nothing to do with any one organization over another. This is just how I feel.
Right.
We have this for a reason. It takes time, so on and so forth. I'm not gonna
That's good.
get into that again, but I think this is something, we can do whatever it is we're gonna do again tonight, but I think this is something that we need to address in the future,
I agree.
in the very near future, and just be done with it,
I
because
agree.
this just has to stop.
And with, I think you said it, let's go, who said it?
Well-
Profit versus nonprofit.
Right.
We,
So we'll
Which,
just
which,
finish,
and
we
so
just
it's not
need
there
to-
yet, so, but I
Right.
think that's a great idea, because I would have a lot easier time if it's a profit saying no, but you know my position with nonprofits.
so, I mean, and, you know, I don't wanna belabor what we, there is a awfully thin line between profit and nonprofit when it starts coming. Nonprofits can make money, and so, you know, I'm not saying that it's, so, it's not so simple as putting
I agree.
in two groups.
I
And
agree.
so we struggled with, you know, what makes it a nonprofit? You're a nonprofit, but you're selling things. That's different than let's say, what you're doing, where you're having coffee hour,
Yeah,
so.
well, just to follow up on that, if we were to actually make a profit and do certain things, we would have to file a 990. We would have, churches don't have to file 990s. They're in a whole separate category of nonprofits.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
It's just, the issue
Yeah.
that we're having has very little to do with your issue.
Yeah.
It's part of,
It's-
it's part of an ongoing,
Right.
next week, we'll have another, and the next
Sure.
week, we'll have another. And it's like, as Beth has pointed out, is like, why have a fee schedule if you're just, now, I mean, we are where we are, because I agree that until we settle that, we need to treat these as a case by case. So, I'm done. I'm ready.
So if you guys are all set, somebody make a motion.
Just one
Oh,
comment.
yes.
The other problem we can run into, case by case, is setting precedent.
Right. Well, and that's
And
the
that
other
can
issue.
get us in trouble.
Not,
I don't,
And the deal is that I had my intentions, I spoke to Andy, I had intentions when it came to board members, that I wanted to see the next month's agenda reflect the fee schedule. Because I had some ideas on how to change this, and we have to have, if we go case to case, we have to have a valid reason to do something this meeting different than we did something the last meeting and the meeting before.
Right, because otherwise
And I
we're
wanna
just-
have a fit schedule because I
But
agree
can you
with
make
you
it work for
110%.
I don't think, I
This
think
is not,
having
this
the
is not the
flexibility.
discussion right now. That's
That's
the
a good-
This
discussion.
is not the
This-
discussion.
That's why I wanted to
Alright,
bring it
so-
up under the forum,
That's fine.
because I
Well,
agree with
well,
you.
we're-
This
we're
can't
off topic.
continue.
We are, right.
We're
We
on
are- I think
topic,
we're on.
so we need to
So-
just, so we
To
need,
keep
someone
it
needs to
finished,
make
I
a
would make a
motion.
motion, hopefully for the last time, to waive the fee.
I'll
Is there a
second
Second
it.
standard,
I'll
right
second it.
there.
All those in favor?
I'll do it, yeah. Just for this time, but I doubt if I'll be voting in favor for it next
Well,
time.
I agree, it's a bigger issue that I
Yes.
don't think we need to belabor in front.
It can't be, this,
Thank you.
we're out of order speaking about it now anyway.
All those opposed?
Yeah,
It's the principal.
all right,
No, we agree.
I agree.
Okay, motion passes, either one.
See you all
Okay,
set.
I'll make a motion that we
Thank you.
close the public hearing.
Second.
And I would like to say we will do good things with that $200.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
nice.
free cookies?
They're always free, coffee hour, come anytime, free cookies.
To the
And other
topic,
good things.
to the topic, and not to take Rolly Stubman in his vice chair's announcement, we're having a working meeting for the,
Tobacco, which one was going for, I think, oh, no.
for the plastic bags. If we want to add the fee schedule to that meeting, probably a good,
Yes.
but anything you can get into deep discussions like that, we should probably have separate on a regular meeting.
I agree.
Okay,
So I can propose that, bags and the fee schedule for that working meeting,
Yes.
and we'll just be prepared to bring in soup
To
and spend
hash
the
it
night.
out.
Bring the gloves. That's a
no, we need to get this done, we need to get this
Yeah.
It
done.
just needs to
But
change.
some other ideas I had for some
Oh.
added fees if needed,
We'll,
can be put into that.
I will
And I
have,
think other people would be happy.
I will have Maritza email the current fee schedule out to all of the board members, for just to look the whole thing over, decide what's good, what's bad, what the board wants to do with it. We may have some ideas of our own because we are the ones in the field, so.
And if I, under the fee schedule was some definitions too, wasn't there, about
The
added
fee
things?
schedule is actually a regulation, it's section 10 of our regulations.
But I mean, we have all the fee schedules, but
We
like
have-
what we talked
We have
about,
a written description
But
of
there's description.
definitions
Okay,
and some
yes.
severability,
Yeah,
some
there's-
administrative language, and then the fee schedule.
okay, perfect, because
All
we
right.
talked re-inspection.
All right, agenda item number 6, old business. Blight update.
We have a website on the end of that, that's only because we forgot to delete it.
Nice. So we don't have an update on the
The-
blight website?
We do have an update on Blight. 80 Hamilton Street. We ran into an insurance problem with the, not a problem. We ran into an insurance cog with the winning contractor. We require an extra umbrella insurance, and it was gonna cost him $10,000 to get that extra umbrella. So, and his insurance runs out on December 15th. So we said, look, don't pay $10,000 for 10 days of coverage and then have to do it again because you won't have the job done by the 15th. We'll put off the job until the 15th, so get the proper coverage for the full year. So the job's not off, it's just delayed until at least after the 15th. Once that happens, we've got a 10-day notification for asbestos, that puts us on Christmas Day. So I suspect the asbestos is gonna start soon after Christmas. Once the asbestos starts, he'll get on site. He's got a lot of the disconnects already done. So the contract signed, everything's on a go, but it was just a insurance, unfortunate coincidence of timing. So that one's moving forward. Brought 66 Central Street to court yesterday morning. The defendant asked for a trial date. We have a trial date for December 26th. I am looking to take the building. His initial order was to take down the building. I gave him grace, in hindsight, I don't know if I will do that again, but I gave him grace trying to get another building repaired. At this point, he has failed to meet, we brought him back to court and set a schedule to rehab the building, and he has failed to meet that schedule, so I am going to court on the 26th looking to tell the judge that.
That was the one in the back.
That's the one in the back. The original judge very adamantly cited failure to act in a timely manner. So she ordered it torn down. Again, I gave him the grace, and again, he's failed to act in a timely manner. So I'm just going to try to go to the judges. He continues to procrastinate and not get things done. So I will be looking to have the courts reinstitute the original order.
What is he doing in that building?
He
Nothing.
is going to turn.
No,
his
what has
intention-
he been doing? Has he been doing anything?
He has, the order said take the foliage down around the building because I felt that there was drug activity.
I mean-
He took the foliage down.
Within it?
Nothing.
Nothing. It's
Because-
boarded up.
No, it is not.
Yes, it
That's
is.
my point.
It is again.
It is again?
Yes.
Because I see that plywood removed from the front door, and the front door open, and
Yeah.
people going in and out. Then later.
Oh, they're cleaning inside.
That's what
They
I
are
meant.
cleaning inside. They're not doing any construction because they do not have a
You can't-
Is
permit.
that building condemned?
The building is not condemned.
It's unfit
The
for
building
human.
is declared unfit for human habitation. The Board of Health declared it unfit for human habitation. The law says that we can order it destroyed after a year, once we declare it unfit for human habitation.
And it's
We
been
did that.
15
Brought it to court,
months.
and the court backed that. I was trying to get 111 Central Street, trying to get a roof on it,
Yeah, I know.
so he came to me and said, can you work with me on this building? And I said, yeah, if you work on that building.
And he did.
But if it's unfit,
Yes.
why is it being accessed? Or does it have to be
Because
condemned?
a building
to be-
unfit for human habitation, entrance can be allowed for purposes of correcting the violations. His intention is to turn that building into a two-family. So they're gonna have to be going in and out to do a lot of construction, they're gonna have to clean the
Oh,
building up. to
but
get
he's
to it.
gotta get he's gotta get a building permit,
Yes,
and
he
he's
does.
gotta go through that stuff.
The
So my point
foundation
is prior to that, it should be condemned, boarded up, off the record, off the books, not touched.
So
Instead of him
technically,
doing what he wants to do.
unless he has an engineer going in there,
We have an engineer's report, Burton Engineering did a report on the structural lackings of the building.
okay.
So long ago.
The foundation of that thing
Yeah, I know.
is crumbling.
Yes, so we have Burton's plans, or Burton's annotations, Burton's observations.
Right.
And Casey Burlingame is going